Hello Cancerians, welcome to Divine Goddess Tarot. My name is Jessica and this is your weekly Zodiac reading. Also, happy Halloween and happy Samhain. It is a beautiful time right now where the veil is very thin, as well as our eclipse in Scorpio that happened on the 25th. We are definitely riding the waves of all of that energy and growth, and that will continue for the next 6 months. So keep that in mind. Us water signs are definitely feeling that, but I really feel that we are on the upswing of all of that transformative Scorpio energy, that we are really moving into, instead of the death aspect that I feel with all of the retrogrades and all of the tower moments that seem to be happening, I feel like we're really shedding that heavy energy and moving into a lot lighter feel. So let's see what energy is coming through for us Cancerians and see what messages. So the Tree of Life, fertility, creativity, destiny, and magical blessings. Beautiful. Let's see what our future higher self has to say and see what messages are going through for you. So the Golden Unicorn, protector, guardian, and champion. I swear that this came through not too long for Cancerians, and it's a beautiful energy. We'll keep going with it. So let's see what our future or our guides have to say, or our spiritual support group, which is our angels, our goddesses, gods, anything that supports us in the 5D and assists in our push for our expansion. So it is brilliant beliefs, luminous life force, and personal power. Beautiful. Love that. So let's see what the tips and tricks, or just for your information for this week to go along with all of these energies, or what could assist us in moving through them. So it says hobbies. Perfect. That. All right. Let's define all these messages with the tarot. So tarot, what messages of the Tree of Life and all of this growth and creativity? For some, it's fertility. Let's see what magical blessings are coming through. So, two of those. So there's the star again. Every single reading has been the Aquarian energy. So we've got the King of Swords as well as the star. So some air, a lot of air energy right there. And we've got the moon, which of course we are ruled by. So let's see, and right here we've got the Five of Cups. So with our future and higher self, with this beautiful golden unicorn of protection, guardian, and champion, what messages right there? The Judgment. Right there, Four of Wands, and the Seven of Wands and Strength. Beautiful. Got my velvet tablecloth flipped the other way, so I'm struggling. I'm going against the grain, so there must be a message there for me. So let's see what our future higher self has to say with my difficult velvet of my own making, right? So we've got the Ace of Cups, Five of Wands, here, and Nine of Swords. So under hobbies, what messages for Cancer? Nope, too many. It's coming through right there. So we've got Four of Cups, Ace of Swords. Got Knight of Swords. And Page of Swords. Lots of air energy. Fire in your chart, or perhaps maybe just embodying that air energy of a lot of movement, of swiftness. I'm feeling light energy with all this water energy in the eclipse in Scorpio a lot of times. And this is the first reading that I had that not a lot of eclipse energy, but just energy of the moon that is here. But it's just tapping into, sometimes we can feel so watery and so emotional that air energy is really refreshing. So tap into that Aquarian energy that's here, the sword energy as well. You've got the King of Swords and the Star. And I'm really feeling this is just the overall message with this eclipse is pave your own way, do your own thing, do what works for you authentically. And that is not someone else's path. That is your path. And Aquarian energy is really innovative. It is really doing things, keeping that beautiful star of what your goals are in mind and going after it, letting nothing get in your way of what you truly want, no matter if it doesn't, everyone else isn't approving of it. It is you being authentically true to yourself and your journey. No one else is to walk your journey but you. And the King of Swords is really that energy. I've got Ash on there. To really execute the ability to communicate your desired goals, to execute it, to go with it, your vision, to really move in a way of a lot of thought. And that's what I love about, especially like Gemini energy. It is being able to look at the entire scope of all of the ranges of life, of all of the emotions, all of the ways to communicate, and being able to see the contrast of things and their beauty of them and see the truth in them and move with it. And I really feel that in the tree of life, like that is grounding into a way of being that is really powerful because we feel solid and safe in our own truth. And when we do that and we tap into this tree of life, it's your destiny. And I feel that the star energy is really showing, it's pointing to you, to your authentic nature. And when we do not live in alignment with that, we don't choose that, we choose what everybody else wants for us, or well, this is what they want me to do, and I really can't do what I want to do. I really feel that we get in our own way of living in authenticity, and therefore we don't get the support from the universe because it's not alignment with that high vibration. And so when we really courageously move into the Aquarian and King of Swords energy and we don't care anymore, we set the stage for, well, it's carving our own path. And sometimes that can be very uncomfortable, especially with the moon energy here. Even though we embody that, we are ruled by that, sometimes it's the things we can't see. So I really feel that right now that whatever you can't see in the future of it working and not working, that's not the point. It's about having faith that it will. And where you can get stuck. So I feel like the low vibration here is really asking us that, okay, look back, look at your path, look at how far you've come. Is it working for you? And then it's time to stop looking at the things that didn't work and focus on what you want to work, what's still sitting here, what your options are, for you to turn around and choose a different way. It's not, if we are constantly looking in the past, we're usually depressed. If we're anxious, we're looking to the future. And really, the heart and the only thing we really have is the moment. So I'm really hearing that perhaps it's time to be where you're at and not try to be any other place. Yes, have your goals, your dreams, and where you're going, but if we're constantly moving to that anxiety level of what's in our future or certainty, then we're not being in the present moment, and we're really not growing the life or being in our life. And so I'm really hearing for us to settle in and be in that moment, even in the shadowy aspect of the moon. And because this is quintessentially a Cancerian card, and we've even got a crab down there, that it's time to embrace perhaps the pause of life, of the inaction or the not knowing, the uncertainty. And that's where risk comes in for any type of success. We've got to risk something, and sometimes it's just unknowing. And the illusion is in this moment, if I can try and stress my way of the future in this moment, I'm going to change it. Well, it just doesn't work that way. We don't know. We can only be in the moment. We can take measures and then move into action, but we don't know until we are there. And then it's the same dilemma of the future, right? So alls we have, the only thing that we have at this time is this moment. So be in it. And when we do, we move in a different way through the universe. I really hear your higher future self, this is where the transformation begins. This is where the resurrection begins. For this energy of moving into this Aquarian energy of doing you, doing your authentic you. And when you do, this could be marriage. You've got the Four of Wands here. However, this is the finish line. This is you've done it. You did it. This is good. This is accomplishment. This is moving in a different way through the universe to where we get a different result. And how we do that is when we have the resistance of life, when we have things that don't work and they push up against us, that we respond in differently. That's how we create change in our life. That's how we create new neural pathways to heal parts of the way we show up to do it different, is we show up in those moments of resistance in a different way than we ever have. And that takes courage and strength. And you've got the Strength card as well as the Seven of Wands here. And he is in this. This is a good card because it does kind of represent that there's action, there could be fighting, but I really feel that it's just you standing in your own knowing of what you want and your authenticity to your path, your direction, what you choose, right or wrong. Whether it's just a learning, it's a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? And so that takes strength and courage and not force. And I really feel that you're moving into this beautiful Leo energy, whether you have Leo in your chart, where Leo is in your chart, I would look that up. Or if you're dealing with a Leo in your life, perhaps this is the encouragement and inspiration for you to choose your power. Choose power versus force. And force is a very different energy. She could never force her hand in the mouth of a lion. I think that would be very counterproductive. But at the same time, you can see that this lion is very trusting. There's the tail is between the legs in a very submissive place, but it's not a fear, it's trust. It's trust that she is doing this in a loving way. And I really feel that that's in representation to your higher self saying, trust the process, trust yourself in the strength that you have. And move in a way that, yes, you're standing, be firm on the person, but be soft on the person, firm on the subject. And sometimes that is ourselves. It's being not so hard on ourselves. Realize that we're going to go through things. And when it happens, we're always in choice. One of my favorite books, Man's Search for Meaning, is an amazing book about showing up in life. He's a doctor and a psychiatrist in the concentration camps. And so he documented things very differently. But what I love about it is we're always in choice, even if we're walking into the gas chambers. He says we're in choice of how we embrace that. And it's a fascinating read. I love this book because it is just, it shows us a different way that even looking at our life and being in such gratitude, but that we are in our power. We have a choice of showing up in every moment how we choose. And so even through difficulty, even through going through many different aspects of life, we are always in choice of our belief system of how we want to look at it. And then you've got Brilliant Beliefs right here, which is luminous life force and personal power. And so that is our power. That is our power of how we choose to look through things. And you've got the Ace of Cups right here. And that has been one of my superpowers is once I learned a different way of how to look at things. Look at the silver lining. Look at the lesson. Look at what the learning is. Yeah, this sucks so bad. But when I switched that, instead of focusing on the pain, the hurt, the disappointment, the grief of it, and I started looking at the full cups right over here, that was when it all changed and life started becoming very different, is to look at the beauty of everything, the lesson in it. And when we do, we have this ability to change our beliefs on things. And therefore, we see the beauty and the fullness in every situation if we choose. And you've got the Five of Wands down here, which is really, it's the Indiana Jones card. And I love it because it's learning how to fight. It's learning, they're sparring. They're using sticks, not swords. And we are learning in life how to fight. We're learning in life to have boundaries. We're learning in life to know when to open again. And in love and in risk and in all the things we go through in life, we have a choice of closing further or opening. And I really feel that this has been a universal message for a lot of the signs, is that no matter when things are hurting us, the challenge and the goal is to keep opening, keep tearing down the walls that keep us from what we want. Because our ego mind really wants to build walls up to protect us so we're never hurt like that again. But it also keeps us from loving ever again, because we can't have walls up if we want to love. We can't have, love is the definition of it is at the absence of fear. And so we must do the work. We've got to keep doing it. And when we do that, sometimes we go through this, you've got the Nine of Swords here, which I really feel that when we go through all of these changing in beliefs, and we go through learning how to fight differently, learning that when we beautifully F up, it is perfect in its learning. When you're sparring, I don't know if you've ever done any martial arts or anything like that. I have. It's one of these things where you get bruised and you've got tender spots by the time you're done. You learn how to not move a certain way because you're gonna get it, and it's not fun, but it's a learning process. And so with that, sometimes causes, sometimes a feeling of being alone in it. Sometimes relationships move away from us that are no longer in alignment to what we believe and what we've learned. And so brilliant beliefs sometimes do isolate us. So sometimes on this road and in this journey of personal development, we create a lot of change in our life, and sometimes our loved ones or people around us have a hard time accepting that. And so it can feel sometimes very alone in that, but that's part of the process. I feel like we also grieve old ways of being. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, even though it's not. I would never want to go back to sleep like I once was. I can't imagine it. There's nothing more beautiful, but there's also sometimes your circles get smaller because you're also not willing to accept very superficial, very shallow relationships. You want to go deep with people. And it's hard to, how do I word this? It's what they say about, I can go as deep with you as I've gone within myself. I know I'm botching that quote in some way, but the point is that I can only go to the depths that I've gone with myself. And so when we are on this healing journey and we're moving for change and learning how to love ourselves and love differently, then it can be very isolating and feeling alone. But you move out of that. And I want you to know that, because you find your tribe. That vibration matches and it shows up differently. When you've got hobbies over here, I really feel that with this, perhaps it's time, if you are feeling alone, it's time to move into some hobbies, something you enjoy, something that makes you passionate. That's how I started into tarot, was my own passion and my own joy for it, my own love for it, and my own connection with it years ago. And it's my hobby, but it's now my purpose. It's my thing that is my ability to share a message for the collective and to be here with you and sharing that. And that's my own vulnerability, so that you may show up in your own vulnerability. And that's what gives permission to the world to show up in their vulnerability. And so I'm seeing here that you have some ideas coming forward. And that can be vulnerable. It doesn't mean you have to accept anything. The Four of Cups is right here. It is perhaps having a look around and seeing what you want to do. I really feel that there's a lot of pause here. And when you decide, I see the Knight of Swords of a lot of forward momentum, a lot of that air energy of going, it's dreaming, it's executing, it's moving swiftly. And you've got the Page of Swords here too, which I really feel is you're on that backswing. He's moving backward and now he's going to execute it. And I feel that perhaps whatever it is in your hobbies, even if it's moving through all this change, but I feel like that your hobbies is going to move you into your creativity. And that's very, very important because that is root chakra. That is also sacral chakra. And it is moving into, that's your money, that's your connection, that's your sexuality, that's your passion, that is also your safety, all of those two chakras. And so when you connect to all of that with even hobbies can be a thing to clear out those chakras for you to perhaps find passion in your life and have that rebirth and that creativity. I always love those places that do wine and art. I think that is such a brilliant idea. And because it gets people out, it gets people together, they're having some beautiful wine, as well as opening up a part of themselves for creativity, however that is, and then conversation. And so I don't know why that's popping into mind, but I feel that is directly related to this aspect of yourself to open. If you feel closed in your creativity, perhaps it's finding a hobby that you love and you can immerse yourself into that, and it can almost be a meditative state. So if it's tarot, if it's learning about tarot, if it's starting your own channel, if it's painting, if it's beekeeping, whatever it is that is something for you to tap into an outwardly but very personal part of yourself. It's a passionate part, so it opens that chakra up and it assists in healing it. So that's the message that I'm receiving. There's a lot here. This is with everything that's going on with the energy and the veil being very thin. It's really time to tap into the messages and connect with all of our abilities to see our spiritual support group so that they can assist us, ask for it. So thank you so much, Cancerians, for joining me. I will see you next week, and we will move through all of this beautiful energy together. Thanks so much.